Let's begin today with a very common topic of grammar, that is active and passive voice. We have been studying this chapter from the 6th class, and we study this chapter up to 10th or 11th class also. So let us begin with the active and passive today. It's a very common topic, and it's also a very easy topic. It is very much important, keeping in view the grammatical sense, and keeping in view the writing skills. So before we begin with the rules, let us first see some examples. Okay, and with the help of the example, it will be easier for us to understand what actually an active voice is and what actually is a passive voice. Okay, so let us begin with the examples. Let us first take the examples. Ram ate some apples yesterday, and Mohan was given a 100 rupee note by me. So in the first sentence, Ram ate some apples. It means he is the doer of something, he did something. Okay, and in the second sentence, Mohan was given a 100 rupee note by me. Here Mohan did not do anything, but he was simply given a 100 rupee note. It was given by me. So Mohan in the second sentence is not the doer of the action, but he is simply the receiver of the action. But in the first sentence, Ram is the doer of the action. So now we come to know that if the subject does something, or he is the doer of the action, that sentence or that subject will be in the active voice. Okay, and if the subject does not do anything but is the receiver of something, or merely the receiver, it will be in the passive voice. Okay, so now we come to this conclusion that a verb is said to be in the active voice. A verb is said to be in the active voice if its form shows that the subject, that the person or thing denoted by the subject does something or is the doer of the action. So in the first sentence we saw that Ram is the doer of the action because he ate the apples by himself. Okay, and that's why it will be called in the active voice. And in the second sentence we saw that Mohan was given a 100 rupee note by me. It means Mohan did not do anything, but he was simply given a 100 rupee note. Okay, so Mohan is the receiver of the action, and by studying the second example, we come to this conclusion that a verb is said to be in the passive voice when its form shows that the person or thing denoted by the subject is the receiver of the action. In the second example, we saw that Mohan did not do anything, but he was given a 100 rupee note, so he was quite passive. Okay, that's why the second example is said to be in the passive voice. Clear? Now let's move towards how to change an active voice into the passive voice. Okay, changing the active voice into passive voice. This is called the transformation of sentence, because here we do not change the meaning but simply change the form of the sentence. Okay, and when we change an active voice into a passive voice, we make certain changes. Okay, first we bring the object of the active voice in place of the subject of the passive voice. Okay, secondly, we add a helping verb after the subject of the passive voice. Okay, and this helping verb should be according to the tense given in the active voice. Thirdly, we always use the third form of the verb in the passive voice. Okay, and fourth, we always use the doer or the subject or the agent of the active voice with by. Okay, and then we write the remaining part of the active voice. Okay, so the first change that we make in the active voice while changing it into passive voice is the change in the pronoun. Active voice is changed into passive voice. Okay, and the pronouns are also changed. Mainly the subjective case is changed into objective case, and the objective case is changed into the subjective case. Okay, if I is given in the active voice as a subject, it will be changed into me into the passive voice as an object with by. And if me is given into the active voice, and if we are bringing me in place of the subject of active voice, me will be changed into I, because here we will make me as the subject, so I will be the subjective case of the pronoun, and we will be changed into us, and us will be changed into we. Okay, you is changed into you. You is both the subjective case and objective case also. Okay, and he will be changed into him, and him will be changed into he. She will be changed into her, and her will be changed into she. It will be changed into it, and they will be changed into them. Now let's move to the change of tense, the second change that we make in the passive voice. Generally, we change the tense in the passive voice, and in this change we generally use the next tense of the tense given in the active voice in the passive voice. Suppose if the active voice is given in the simple present tense, the passive voice will be in the present continuous tense, and if the active voice is given in the present perfect tense, the passive voice will be in the present perfect continuous tense. If the active voice is given in the past simple tense, the passive voice will be in the past continuous tense, and if the active voice is given in the past perfect tense, the passive voice will be in the past perfect continuous tense, and if the active voice is given in the simple future tense, the passive voice will be in the future continuous tense, and if the active voice is given in the future perfect tense, the passive voice will be in the future perfect continuous tense. Okay, so till now we have learned that if any tense is given in the active voice, the next tense will be used in the passive voice. Okay, and some other rules of tense, like if ing form is used in the passive voice, sorry, if ing form of the verb is used in the active voice, we will use being, and after helping verb of the active voice, and we will remove ing from the main verb, and use the third form of the verb. Okay, let us see some examples. First, begin with the simple present tense. Okay, change of tense. Simple present tense is used. Simple present tense is changed into the present continuous tense. Simple present tense is changed into the present continuous tense. Let's see the examples. Ram watches cartoon channel in the evening. This is the sentence which is in the simple present tense. Okay. One more example. Billu flies kites in the morning. This is also the example of simple present tense. And now let's change these sentences into the passive voice. We have already discussed that simple present tense will be changed into the present continuous tense. Okay, so let us first pick up the object from the active voice. And in the first sentence, Ram watches cartoon channel in the evening. The object is cartoon channel. So we will place the cartoon channel in the beginning of the passive voice. Okay, and cartoon channel will be the subject of the passive voice of the first sentence. So we can make this passive voice like this. First, the cartoon channel as the subject of the passive voice. Okay, then a helping verb will be used. As we have already discussed that simple present tense is changed into the present continuous tense. So we will use is, are or am as the helping verb of this sentence. Cartoon channel here is the singular subject, so we will use is with the cartoon channel. Okay, and the third form of the verb watch will be used because we always use the third form of the verb with the passive voice. Okay, now by and the doer or agent of the subject, which is Ram, and then the remaining sentence in the evening. Clear? Next sentence is Billu flies kites in the morning, and in the second sentence we will pick up the object which is kites. Okay, so kites will be the subject of the passive voice, and this will also be changed into the present continuous tense. So we will use is, are, am as the helping verb of the passive voice. So with kites we will use the helping verb are because kites is the plural subject here. Okay, kites are. Then the third form of the verb will be used, that is flown. The third form of fly is flown. So it will be used as the third form, and then by, then the doer of the action, that is Billu, and then the remaining sentence which is in the morning. So it is very easy to change an active voice into the passive voice. Okay, now the next tense is that present perfect tense is changed into present perfect continuous tense. We already know that in the present perfect tense we use the helping verb has and have, and we use the third form of the verb in the present perfect tense. And when it will be changed into the present perfect continuous tense, the helping verb will be quite different. The helping verb will be has been and have been. Okay, and third form of the verb will be used in the passive voice. Let's see some examples of present perfect tense, converting them into the passive voice. The examples are: I have seen hundreds of Hollywood movies. One more example: Raina has invited me to her birthday party. In the first sentence, I have seen hundreds of Hollywood movies. The object of the sentence is hundreds of Hollywood movies. Okay, and in the second sentence, the object is me. Okay, and if we change the first sentence in the passive voice, we will bring the object in the beginning of the sentence, and hundreds of Hollywood movies will be brought in the beginning. Okay, and then we will use the helping verb has been or have been according to the subject of the passive voice. Okay, so let's change the active voice. I have seen hundreds of Hollywood movies into passive voice. Okay, so first the object or the subject of passive voice, hundreds of Hollywood movies, is the subject of the passive voice. It is the object of active voice. Okay, and then the helping verb have been will be used because the subject is plural. Okay, and then the third form of the verb seen, then by, and then the doer I will be changed into me, like this. Okay, and the second sentence, Rana has invited me to her birthday party. The object in that sentence is me. So when we will bring me in the beginning, it will be changed into I, because here we are using me as the subject of the sentence. So it will be changed into I. Okay, and then the helping verb have been. Okay, and third form invited, then by, then the doer of the action Rena, and the remaining sentence to her birthday party. Clear? So in this way we will change the active voice of present perfect tense into passive voice of present perfect continuous tense. Clear? Now let us move to changing the simple past tense into past continuous tense. Okay, simple past tense is changed into the past continuous tense, and we also know that in the simple past tense we use only the second form of the verb, because no helping verb is used in the simple past tense. Okay, but in the negative sentences we use did not, and in the interrogative sentence we also use the helping verb did, but in the affirmative sentence we do not use any helping verb. We simply use the second form of the verb in the simple past tense, and when it will be changed into passive voice, it will take past continuous tense, and in the past continuous tense we use the helping verb was and were. Okay, so when I say Lord Rama killed Ravana, the sentence is in the simple past tense. Okay, and one more example, Lena organized a tea party last week, and when we will change these active voices into the passive voice, we will use the past continuous tense. Like in the first sentence, Lord Rama killed Ravana. Ravana is the object because he was killed by Lord Rama. So we will bring the object Ravana as the subject. Okay, in the beginning. So Ravana will be the object. Okay, then we will use the helping verb was or were. Was will be used because the subject is singular, and then the third form of the verb, that is killed, then by, and then the doer of the action, that is Lord Rama. Okay, and the second sentence, Lena organized a tea party last week. First, the object of the second sentence is a tea party. So we will bring a tea party in the beginning of the sentence. Okay, then we will use a helping verb was or were, and we will use was because here again the object is singular. Okay, and then the third form of the verb organized, and then preposition by, and then the doer of the action, that is Lina, and then the remaining sentence, which is last week. So in this way we will change the active voice of the simple past tense into the passive voice of past continuous tense. Okay, now the third change in the tense is that of the past perfect tense into the past perfect continuous tense. This is the fourth change. Okay, so past perfect tense is changed into the past perfect continuous tense. Okay, and we know that in the past perfect tense we use the helping verb had, and we use the third form of the verb. And in the past perfect continuous tense we use the helping verb had been, and in the passive voice we will use the third form of the verb. Okay, so past perfect tense will be changed into past perfect continuous tense, and like the other tenses, the same procedure will be followed in this sentence also. Let's begin with the examples of past perfect tense. Like the doctor had operated upon the patient. This is the example of the past perfect tense. Okay, one more example. Sheila had sung an item song in a Hindi movie. Okay, both the sentences are in the past perfect tense, and now see how to change these sentences of past perfect tense into the passive voice of past perfect continuous tense. Okay, so in the first sentence, in the first sentence the patient is the object of the verb operated upon. Okay, and we will bring the patient in the beginning of the sentence. So the patient will be the subject of the passive voice, and then we will use the helping verb had been, which is used in the past perfect continuous tense, then the third form of the verb operated upon. Okay, then the preposition by, and then the doer of the action, that is the doctor. Okay, and the second sentence, Lina had sung an item song in a Hindi movie. In this sentence, an item song will be the object of the passive voice. Okay, and the helping verb will be had been, then the third form sung will be used, then by, doer of the active voice Lina, and then the remaining part of the sentence in a Hindi movie. Okay, now let's move to the next tense, that is the simple future tense, and simple future tense will be changed into future continuous tense. We all know that in the simple future tense we use the helping verb will and shall, and in the future continuous tense we use the helping verb will be and shall be. Okay, so when we are changing the active voice of simple future tense into passive voice, we will use the helping verb will be and shall be, okay, to make the passive voice of these sentences. Let's begin some examples of simple future tense. Rati will call a meeting today. And the second sentence, Mahima will undertake a journey next month. In both the sentences, we have used the helping verb will. Okay, so these sentences will be in the simple future tense, and these will be changed into the future continuous tense. Okay, like this. The first sentence, Rati will call a meeting. So a meeting will be the object of the first sentence. So we will bring a meeting in the beginning of the sentence. Okay, then the helping verb will be used, and with will we will add be. Then the third form call will be used. Okay, then by preposition, then the doer of the action, that is Rati, and then the remaining sentence or remaining part of the sentence, that is today. Okay, the second sentence, Mahima will undertake a journey next month. In the second sentence, we have a journey as the object of the active voice, and a journey will be the subject of the passive voice. So we will bring a journey in the beginning of the sentence. So a journey will be the subject. Okay, then the helping verb will be used. Okay, then the third form undertake will be changed. Undertaken will be used. Okay, then the preposition by, then the doer of the action, that is Mahima, and then the remaining sentence, next month. Okay, so here is the examples of how to change an active voice into the passive voice. Next topic will be covered in the next lecture.